Will be taken up by Shri R.J.S.V. Ramarao Sir, Manager of National Small Industrial Corporation, which comes under Ministry of MSME, which supports MSME for the growth in various aspects. Please put a round of applause for Ramarao Sir.
Very good afternoon to all. Thank you. The first thing, I request all you people kindly acknowledge and applaud the best efforts of North Karnataka and Kalyan Karnataka, Chamber from like Kalyan Karnataka, ICAI chambers and chapters. Just give us a big round of applause. And especially the second round and a special approach to the participants over here, dignitaries, students, and the existing entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and for all of us, we can just give it a round of applause. Now we'll start, sir. This is Ramarao, a branch head, National Small Industries Corporation, taking care of entire North Karnataka operations. My jurisdiction comes under from Ballari, Ballari, from Ballari to Ballari, even Davangere, Hosapete, even Gulbarga up to Hosapete Park, this entire North Karnataka and some part of Dakshin Karnataka also I am taking care of. This is my scope. And now we will tell about something. I have given a slot of 20 minutes. What I will do, will make it very clear what is the important topics for you. Before that, I will tell you something. How many people are aware that what is an MSME ministry is there? So how many departments are under the MSME ministry? Can anybody know? There are so many departments under the Ministry of MSME. You can start at MSME DFO, NIMSME, NIS Board, KVIC, Fire Board, NSIC. These all departments are what they are doing exactly. They want to make the entrepreneurs and to make the growth. For the growth, these all the departments are participating and supporting like anything. Under this, actually, this program what I just mentioned for, it's MSME CONCLAVE, reach the unreached. The intention is what? To support the existing entrepreneurs, to make the new entrepreneurs. So, in this regard, I'll make it in three concepts actually. To start a business, we'll make it in three parts. First, beginners, intermediates, or achievers. So we know everybody knows that to start a business, like everybody thinks that we need some bank loan and we need some personal loan, otherwise some land approvals, project report. This all comes under the first part of the activity. What is the next part? So everybody might be thinking, so bank loan, we need a bank loan, project report is there, government has allotted the lands, everything. This land allotment, everything, some parts of subsidies comes under state government. The remaining part will be taken care by the central government department. So how many people are there? Because here the situation is, to start everybody was thinking we need a loan sir, we need a project report. Okay, those parts will be taken care of by the banks and some BICs. But once you start the business, what you exactly require? Anybody can say it. Just maybe 1 or 2 points. After starting business, what they exactly require? So they require so many activities, like they require some marketing support, technology support, financial support, raw material support, exhibition support, promotion support. You make it, all the activities will be done with it. Only one company, one MSIC will be supporting across India. No other department will be supporting in such kind of activities. Now we'll start our thing. So this is the corporation, it comes under purely Ministry of MSME. So only one PSU under Ministry of MSME. We are supporting for the growth of all the MSCs, except large scale industries. So these are the schemes what we deal with as an MSIC. We support for single point registration, raw material support, raw material distribution, bill discounting, tender marketing and consortium support, bank tie-ups, B2B, ICT enabled digital services, exhibitions, buyer seller meets, SC hub. There's a self-reliant detail, there's a separate scheme also launched. It's supposed to be, it is under process. And the finally training needs. These are the schemes what we deal with exactly. I think it is clear, like, for starting you have loan, bank loan, for everything it is there. But after starting you need all these supports to execute your company, to run the company, to grow the company. So I'll go with slide. So next slide. So these are the supports, what we call it. Otherwise you can have a line.
So this is okay?
Now I'll come here. Is that fine? Okay. Now we'll go into the marketing support. There we are supporting like raw material, registrations, consortia kind of marketing, e-marketing. This all comes under marketing support. The other part is the credit support, what we do. For procurement of raw material, we support them. And the credit facilitation also will do. Technology, we go for skill development training. We have lab testing facilities. Self-and like LBIs also we have. And other marketing support like the PPP, STPs and EF. This all comes under our we divide into 4 categories. So I'll go by sector. This is the single point registration. The major focus is, for example, if you have started a company. So further what you require some orders. There is a private as a government orders is there. There is a separate public procurement policy was there, which is a mandate by the government. Any PSCs in a central department or state, some parts of state department, they need to procure from MSCs, a minimum 25%. But how many people are doing? Majority people are doing only for the small and private players only. If you have a registration with it, to make it mandate compulsory, you need some special provisions. So these provisions, what we are providing to the units. Those who are participants are taking an SIC registration. When they participate in any central government tenders or government department tenders, they will be exempted from paying the entire EMD. Price preference will be given. Purchase preference is given. Even the tender applications will be given a free of cost. These are the supports which they are getting actually when they have a registration. You can ask me a simple question, sir, Udyog registration or Ujjam registration is there, departments are giving some facilities or other things. But it's the Ujjam registration, it's only mentioning that you have registered under so-and-so category only. We don't know what is your criteria, what is your production capacity, what is your financial capacity. Where NSIC is certifying each and everything, a company itna karne wala hai, they have a production capacity as per slot itna hai, they can participate up to this much tender so that they will be getting exemptions of all those things. When you get, for example, if any company is participating in any tender, in a year assuming that they might be participating in 10 tenders. So every tender maybe they might be paying the EMD of 1 lakh rupees. Per annum it will be like a 10 lakhs rupees. Until and unless you execute that particular EMDs will not be released. But you have NSIC registration. It is purely depends on your turnover capacity. When you have a registration, you will be getting EMD exemption. This is the best field where you can have this. Tender application, advanced information of tenders will be provided. Price preference is provided. These are all for the benefits of the small scale industries, not for the large scale. Micro, small and medium enterprises. Certain extent, majorly we are emphasizing on micro and small enterprises. And this is the raw material assistance. This is actually one more beautiful. No other bank, no other financial department will give you such kind of support. What we do, for example, in Hosapete, assuming that we have 10 contractors, they might require some steel and cement and bitumen, whatever you name it. What we do, we aggregate the requirement. For example, 10 clients are there. Everybody 10 might be requiring some 1,000 tons of cement. Each and individual procuring only 100 or 150 tons only. We aggregate that material. Accordingly, we will place an order to the companies. So what will happen? If you are procuring only, you will be procuring only 100 tons. If you are procuring to NSIC, it will be 1,000 tons. So the price difference minimum 1 to 3% or up to 4%, you will be getting exemption. This is an added advantage to the company. It will be steel, cement, whatever you name it. And apart from this, we are also providing, for example, those parties can take it as an advance payment also. Those the parties who cannot take it as an advance payment, we have another thing, we take the bank guarantee as a security and we supply the material. We'll give time up to 180 days. Even the banks are giving only up to 90 days. We are extending up to 180 days. Still, if you are not releasing your funds, we may extend another 90 days subject to the terms and conditions. Basing on the repayment capacity, other things will take it. So no other bank will give you, only NSIC will be providing up to 180 days. Against bank guarantee only. And the raw materials what we supply. Next page. We are doing supplying steel, aluminium, copper, vitamin, zinc, paraffin wax, granules, you name it, whatever the material it is there. If it is not in our list, what we do the aggregation, we do the survey, and we will add in our, so that we will be supporting to you. This is the raw material scheme. So these are all the raw materials what we are supplying to the parties at a subsidized rates. It is an open competition. Nobody will provide in the such a rate, we will be the subsidized rates. These are the raw materials. Next year. So, in raw material only, we have some godown points also. From there, we are straight away supplying. Otherwise, what we are procuring, we are directly billing to the companies. At their doorstep, we will be supplying. It is a thing. And the bill discounting, this is also one factor. Banks are doing bill discounting. So, bill discounting also is very clear. Those bills will be discounting the bills, and we are providing up to 180 days time again. It is purely against the bank guarantee only we are doing this support. And we'll be charging very less nominal interest rate. This is equivalent to the bank loans. Once the bill discounting is done, consortium tender marketing. This is another beautiful scheme. For example, if the government was floating a tender, if you want to participate, you have all the parameters, like what we can say eligibilities, technical eligibilities you have. But sometimes what will make, governments will make some turnover capacity. Turnover should be there. Those times, micro and small units, what they are facing, they are not facing, they don't have any turnover capacity. So what we are doing now, so on behalf of them, we will be participating in a government tenders. All technical parameters belongs to the MSC units, and the financial parameters belongs to the MSIC. Once we became aware, according to their production capacity and turnover capacity, we are issuing order to them. Sometimes what we do the consortia marketing also. We'll make a 2 or 3 people as a consortia, then we'll supply them. This is one beautiful, because you have already capacities. Because of only turnover capacity, if you are losing that order, means it is a wasting. So what we are doing, we are supporting to procure, to get the orders also. This is a consortia and tender marketing. And this is a bank presentation we have. On a pan-India basis, we have almost 17 banks. Previously it was some 29. After amalgamation, it was come down from 17 to 15 banks. The major idea was, if at all existing units may require some additional working capital support or a takeovers, we do some due diligence, then we will recommend your proposal to the bank for getting additional work top up. If it is a new enterprise, we do the again due diligence, we will support them how to prepare a project report and other things. Then we will forward your proposal to the banks for nearest banks to support the sanction. This is another scheme. So these are the banks what we have done. This is another beautiful thing, B2B. So you might be seeing that Alibaba, Amazon, Flipkart, these are all the private players. This is one scheme where under Ministry of MSME with the support of our departments and NSIC is organizing B2B portal where you can showcase your products. You have a place will be given, work process, sector specific domestic tenders will be there, tender information will be given to you, and what are the competitors are offering. And we have one more provision also. For example, if you are participating in any tender, so you might be you may not be knowing that what is the last year quoted flight. We are also supporting that particular activity. And these are all the information like 1,09,000 live tenders information available, product facility available, virtual exhibitions. These are all the benefits of B2B. And this one we are giving for women enterprises, we are giving 20% subsidy. If it is a micro category, we have separate advertisement plan also. There we are giving for the micro units right away 75% subsidy. For SCS entrepreneurs, it is like only we are charging 1,200 rupees only. For the initial single point registration, we are charging for SCS entrepreneurs only 118 rupees, irrespective of the amount. And these are all the information. Next one. This is the scheme where B2B, it is a micro unit. For the micro units, it's a beautiful scheme where you can go for this. This is all the information it will be like. You can showcase your products, services, connect with the buyers and sellers, a special subsidy for SCS entrepreneurs. For example, it is the charge of somewhere around it is 30 to 35,000. Straight away, you will be getting eligible for 25,000 rupees as a subsidy. The remaining 6 to 7,000 you need to pay. And you are getting like any information, whatever you require. You are showcasing your products. For SCSCs, it is there. For micro, is there. For women enterprise, subsidy is there. For even general micro, also, the subsidy is there. And we have almost signed with other private players also to support you like anything. We have adequate for software solutions, we are providing as a subsidized rate. We have a DNB for getting bank loan rating, bank loans and other things. You may require some credit reports. These things also we are supporting at subsidized rates. Airtel is providing the subsidized plans to the MSE units in association with the size. Zoho, cloud services, books online, accounting packages, everything. These are all the partners of subsidies. Like it is fluctuating from 10 to 20% or 30%. It depends on the category and it depends on the plan which you are going to operate. These are all the benefits. Exhibitions and buyers. My co-department is also telling that they are also executing under the Ministry of MSME. We are supporting like this one, those who want to participate in domestic or international exhibitions. We are supporting like this. You have to pay the upfront and we will be providing as a subsidy, or we will be reimbursement. We are reimbursing the pack, whatever it is. When a flight charges you are doing, we are even whatever the material you want to carry for the exhibitions, those things also we are subsidizing. This is the exhibition and buyer salary. Why this buyer salary are required? Because majority of the people doesn't know where to supply their products. So what we do, we create one platform over there. So where you can directly interact with the buyers as well as the sellers. You can interact with them and you can exchange your views and ideas so that you can display or you can market your product at their itself. This is another one. We are the exclusively nodal agency for implementing SC hub activities. Here again, the major intention database, capacity building, vendor development, marketing assistance, mentoring, synergizing, and credit linkage. The major interest was to make the SCSC entrepreneurs or to become entrepreneurs, to start them, to mentor them, to support them. In this also again we have another features. Sir, next. There is the schemes like the registration. We have given MSME data bank. The registered MSME we are providing at 118 rupees as a special cases. And marketing assistance support we are doing. And the National Monitor Manufacturing Complex Program, CPSS, whatever. These are all the schemes. If you are any registered SCSC entrepreneur out there, if they require any support, if you can able to reach us, we can support you. What are the eligible parameters? We can support their exam. So these are the existing things we are almost doing. We are tripod also, tribal things. There is so many activities are involved in NSICs. Not only NSIC, all our supporting sister concern or sister departments are what we call the primary departments under the Ministry of MSME. We are supporting them for after starting your business, whatever you support require, maximum it will be available from our departments. Further into this all comes under STST. The technology and training, we have NTSCs, we have some Okla, Haura, Rajkot, Chennai, Hyderabad, Aligarh, Rajpura, Neemka, Kashipur, Mandi, and Navada, Naini, Roorkela. These are all the places we are giving the students as a training. And it's like some sort of, we can say, it's a LBS. It's a livelihood incubators. If we come up with a proposal, we are supporting you for how to proceed, what to not to do, where to do, where you are getting a loan syndication, where you are getting a raw material. This all the information support will be supported by NSS. I think I briefed it in a very similar thing, small way. If you require any support, if you want to start, I'll make it once again, I'll just recap it. If you want to support to start your industry, please approach us, we'll support you, we'll guide you, where you will be getting the bank loans and other things. If you require a raw material, like we will support as well as cash, we'll supply raw material at subsidized rates. If you want to participate in any tenders, we'll support you through tender marketing activity. We'll provide a registration. With that registration, you are eligible for getting a EMD exemption, tender participation, price preference, purchase preference. Not only that, after bank linkage system is there, then we are doing it a tender marketing activity. Once it is done, we have a machinery selling activity also, but whereas we can directly, we will introduce the buyers as well as the suppliers also, machinery. Once it is done, we can say there is so many activities involved in particular activity. You be in it. Who, sir? That's what, sir. Nobody will give you my contact number. It's open and giving my contact number. If anybody was there, they want to start any industry, they can approach us at any point of time, but morning 9, 10 or 9 to evening 7 or 8 p.m. Maybe Sundays I will not be available, the remaining time available. If I am traveling, that time my mobile will be switched off, then again simultaneously I will be calling you back. You just send me a text message, or else my team will be contacting my fellow colleague also, Mr. Santosh Kumar. Santosh. He is also taking care of the activity. He belongs to basic government. So finally, what I expect, maybe after 2 days session, how many young entrepreneurs will be starting from this particular session? I can expect how many people can be a new entrepreneurs? Sir, it's a very low response. Sir. Only 4, 5, 6 people only.
No, more.
I'm expecting a minimum 50 people.
Now it is 50-50.
So how many students are over here? Say about, okay. So say about, I can say 62 in between 100, maybe 75. So at least 50% can approach. Can anybody is having an idea of how to start a business?
You want to start a
Okay, 4. That's so many people. So how many existing entrepreneurs are there? So then I think you might be require much nurturing. If you want any support in terms like, you can support us. For starting a unit, whatever it is required, just let us know. We will guide you what is in our purview and our scope. If it is not in our purview, we will guide you which department it will be going to support. So any information you can just point us, because it is a very short span. Because if you start on speaking on these activities, it will take minimum 3 to 4 hours. Thank you. So anything else? And finally, thank you for giving this opportunity.
Let us give a big round of standing ovation to Ramarao, because I have seen only one government employee always telling from morning 9 to 7 I am always available. For that at least we will give a big round of applause. Sir, we require people like you in central government organization so that our MSMEs can still do better, and we request you to kindly be there in tomorrow our MSME town hall session. Your presence makes us more informative, and tomorrow at 3 o'clock you please be here, sir, so that we want more and more inputs from you so that many outputs will come. Thank you very much.
And I'll make it one more thing, please, sir. This is my 5th state in the southern India. I worked in Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Telangana, and some parts of Maharashtra. Now I come to Karnataka. Our intention prior to this, I am an ex-banker. I worked in a small bank like private banks. I worked in ICAI, HDFC, IndusInd Bank. There I have dealt with debt management, recovery part, and the business development also. So maybe my corporation was thinking that maybe my presence is required. I don't know how many days will be here or how many months will be here. So before we get a transfer from this particular place, I request minimum 10 to 15 people should become a new entrepreneur.
May I request our Vice Chairman C.A. Pannara sir do the honors to C.A. Ramarao. Also, you can also join together.
One question. Yes. I'm Prakash.
No, question will be tomorrow. No question now because time is already one.
Tomorrow,
MSME town hall, 1.5 hour session. Then you can ask question, please. Next speaker
We thank you, sir.
Students, are you convinced what I told you in your colleges? Those who don't know, who don't want to do business, ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ ಎಂ.ಕಾಮ್ ವಿ.ಎನ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ವಿಜಯನಗರ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆಯಪ್ಪ ಇದ್ದಳು ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಂತ Ramarao number order sir, you can do the business. Do you agree? Students not agreeing? If you agree, claps. If you agree, claps. You should become entrepreneurs. Udyamiyagu, udyoga needu, not become only employee.
Yes, Mohammad Tasneem sir, Industrial Extension Officer, Hosapete, to address the gathering. Mohammad Tasneem sir.
Next startup session.
We take a break for lunch. This session will be presented by Dr. A.P. Achar, CEO of Atal Incubation Center, Nitte, Karnataka, and on the topic startup ecosystem in India.
Good morning. Shall we start? Yes. As I told in the morning, India has become the fifth largest economy in the world and want to become third largest economy. And Karnataka has a vision to become $1 trillion economy by 2025. So in this contest, a lot of hope is on the youngsters to become entrepreneurs, or there's a lot of hope for many startups to come up in India. I'll just give a brief about the evolving ecosystem for all of us to pursue new enterprises or pursue startup in a very big way. India has been best known for enterprises, new enterprises for a long time, but because of the colonial rule for 200 years, the entrepreneurial spirit of Indians has been completely destroyed. Now after 2014, the government of India is making a very special effort to promote startup among youngsters. Me along with Dr. Anand Prasad, the CEO of Atal Incubation Center, Jyoti Institute of Technology, will be giving a brief idea about the various ecosystem that is developing in India since 1914. Next slide. We had given a huge amount of employment opportunities during COVID. When big enterprises laid off, startup had given more employment to the youngsters. Today, 1 out of 13 unicorns globally was born in India, and India is emerging as one of the best places for startup to grow. Next slide. A definition of startup, any new enterprise for in layman language is called startup, but for government purpose, to get subsidy and get incentives, to be a startup there are three conditions. It has to be a legal entity. Legal entity could be a LLP or a private limited company or even partnership also. A sole trading concern or an enterprise started by a single individual is not considered as startup. Second condition is this enterprise should engage in innovative business or it should have innovative product or a service. Third condition is that the total turnover of a startup shall not exceed 100 crores. Moment its turnover exceeds 100 crores, it doesn't qualify as a startup. Next. The stages in a startup. First stage in creating a startup is desire to be an entrepreneur. I think this workshop at CONCLAVE like this is an opportunity for you to develop a desire for an entrepreneur. Unless you don't have a desire to be an entrepreneur, you cannot build an enterprise at all. You might all know that Ambani, when he was working in a petrol pump, he had a burning desire to be a petroleum manufacturing company. So all those entrepreneurs you look at, they had a very strong desire, very engaged to be an entrepreneur. That's the first stage. Second is the idea generation. Where do you get ideas? Anand Prasad will tell you more about how to generate business ideas. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you must develop multiple ideas, evaluate it, and select only one idea at a time. So once you develop an idea, then you develop a proof of concept. So many times you develop very innovative ideas, very crazy ideas, but we don't know whether, you might have heard about Raman Pillai. From water he want to manufacture petroleum. But is it possible? The idea is good, but is it possible? That's why you develop a proof of concept. Once you develop a proof of concept, then develop a prototype, a working model. then you have to go for a functional product, to go for a market product, but many times the product is innovative, it have a proof of concept, but it doesn't fit into market. So market will accept only when it is viable for the most of the people to buy it. Many times the price, if it is very high, then people may not be able to buy it. Sometimes because of the sentiment, like nano car, you might have heard about, it's the best car, but it's fake in the market. There is no market product fit. Then you have to create, once you have a functional product, then you have to create a legal entity. For a long time in India, creating a legal entity was a very, very difficult task. But today, because of the Startup India new policy, we have a single window kind of agency where you can create an enterprise within 15 days. We are an incubation center where we help a startup to create a legal entity within 15 days. Earlier it take I think around years together. And for a startup where MSME owners are here, most of the MSMEs has to follow 130 different business laws. But today, for a startup, they are exempted from all these laws. Once you create a legal entity, then you go for a commercialization, then growth and development. This is a brief journey of any entrepreneur for that matter. This is the stages through which he has to pass through from one stage to another. And if you don't have a proof of concept and you go for a commercialization, it will be failure. So normally to be a successful entrepreneur, it takes minimum 2 years. Next. When we talk about the startup ecosystem, the major players in the startup ecosystem are the incubators. US has highest number of incubators, around 2,500. Second is China, and India we have around 500 till last month. Now maybe around 750 because number is increasing every day. Incubators, there are 3 types. One type of incubators are government funded by DST, electronic department, so many departments. Second set is funded by Niti Ayog and Atal Innovation Mission. I am sure all of you know that in 2015, Government of India started a program called Atal Innovation Mission. Under this mission, they started 10,000 tinkering labs all over India and 100 world-class incubation centers with the funding of 10 crores. And NITA is one among them. Jyoti Infra Technology, here is another one in Bangalore. And this incubation center, we provide end-to-end services, in all the stages. We do a lot of program to develop interest among the youngsters to become an entrepreneur. In India, we celebrate film actors, we celebrate cricketers, but we don't celebrate entrepreneurs. How many of you know Ratan Tata? Very good. How many of you know Nandan Nilekani? Very few. How many of you know Shah Rukh Khan? All of you know. How many of you know Virat Kohli? You know his entire thing, his wife, how many kids he has, where he has gone for holiday, everything you know. But have you heard about Kumaramangalam Birla? Very few. Very few of you know. Because we don't read success stories of entrepreneurs. We only read stories of film actors and cricketers. But we are making a lot of effort. We did a program called Kaun Mane Buddhimpati contest at a local level. We're doing the state level this 2023, wherein we generate a lot of interest among youngsters to become an entrepreneur. How many of you want to make a lot of money in your life? All of you, right? I think one of the mechanisms through which you can make money is through entrepreneurship. Second is accelerator. Sometimes you have a small enterprise but don't know how to develop it. Like in Mangalore where I come from, there are many small enterprises, micro enterprises, which don't know how to go to the next level. For them, there are the accelerators and their main job is to help a startup to go to the next level. Third is a co-working space. Many startups cannot hire a space, rented space is very difficult. So all the incubators, we provide co-working space at a very nominal charges. You can give this address for the registration also. So this is viable for the startup for first 3 years to grow because they get a lot of co-working space. And mentors. Mentors are a very important players in the ecosystem. And many times you have a wonderful idea, but you don't know is viable or not. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಐಡಿಯಾ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಂದು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಂದಿದ್ರು ಈ ಯಾಲಕ್ಕಿಯಿಂದ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ತೆಗೆದು ದುಬೈಗೆ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಏಲಕ್ಕಿಯಿಂದ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ತೆಗೆದು ದುಬೈ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನು ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ದುಬೈಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ತೆಗಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆಷಿನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕು ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಅದು ಸಹ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ a wonderful project, but he doesn't know where the machines are available, what kinds of skills are available, how to discover a market. So mentors will guide you on how to do all those things. So mentors are a very, very important players in the market. Second set of players in ecosystem or angel investors. There are a lot of people in India have made a lot of money, but they want to use it for social welfare or for empowerment of youngsters. We have a network of around 20 angel investors. If anyone has a good idea, and they will give funding, but on a condition. Then venture capitalist firms also there, angels also there, so they also give a lot of funding. So banks are the last preference for startup funding. Do you know why? Any bankers here? For startups, even though SBI has a separate branch for startups, but startups are not getting funds from bank because ನಮ್ಮ SS ನಾಗ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಲೋನ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಜಾಮೀನು ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಜಮೀನು ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಪ್ಸ್ ಎರಡೂ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ದೇ ಗೆಟ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಲೋನ್. ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಎಕ್ವಿಟಿ, venture capitalists, angel investors, most of them are attached to incubation centers, will provide liberal funding for the startup. Next is government of India support, streamlined registration. For a long time in India, to start a company is difficult, closing is more difficult. But if you are a startup, closing is also easy, starting is also very, very easy. That is a very, very important development happened in India for creating a new enterprise. Second is startup seed fund scheme of 10,000 crores in 20. Sorry, it's missing. I made a small correction before they giving it to them. Dr. Anand Prasad will tell you more about it. So in 2020, Government of India created 10,000 crores of fund for giving as a seed fund to startup. It is given through incubator. We got 2 crore funding and Jyoti got 5 crore funding. If you have a viable idea, you get a free funding from Government of India. It may be grant, it may be an equity, sometimes at a debt at a very, very low rate. This is another tremendous development happened in India, because main challenge faced by the startup at early stages for product development, POC, prototype. This fund can be used. So pre-revenue stage, nobody gives you funding, but this seed fund can be made use of it. Then cost of patent trademark. If you have a new idea for patent registration, you take 7 to 8 years till recently. But today, if you have a new idea, you can get a patent within 1 year. It's a fast track patent registration. This is one of the very, very important development happened recently. So many times ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ರು ಈ ಗೇರು ಹಣ್ಣಿಂದ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪೇಟೆಂಟ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. 7 years ಆಯಿತು ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರು, ಇನ್ನೂ ಅವರಿಗೆ NIT ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಬಂತವರಿಗೆ. ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ಹಾಗೆಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ನ್ಯೂ ಐಡಿಯಾ, you can apply for a patent. We also help, incubators also help to get a patent as early as possible. Next. Now these are some of the example of emerging types. We want to start an enterprise which is most viable sector is healthcare sector, because in India we have 30,000 diseases, out of which 50% of diseases doesn't have treatment, medicine only. So and healthcare delivery is the biggest challenge today. We are incubating around 10 startups which are in this sector, and if you look at all over India, majority of the startups coming from this, like in fintech, finance, you might have heard about Bharat Pay, Google Pay, and a lot of pays are coming up in. This is another emerging sector. And third is food tech. This is a very, very emerging, because food delivery and cultivation of the land. Till India we cultivate land in a very, very traditional way. Lot of technologies are available. You might have heard about vertical farming and different types of scientific farming, and a lot of startups are coming into this place. We are incubating one startup where they take not waste land, unutilized land on a lease. They cultivate the land with their cost and give 20% to the landowner. And another startup we have, he mixes a lot of cereals and makes one chapati, not chapati, this ಹಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಹಿಟ್ಟನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಚಪಾತಿ ತಿನ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. We have one startup which is manufacturing the jackfruit validated product. Have you heard about jackfruit? ಅದನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ it's a miracle fruit. You can make around 200 products from this, and each product is anti-diabetic, anti-cancer and anti-aging also. If you want to remain young forever, you must eat more jackfruit product. These are some of the startups coming in this food tech. Other emerging tech is travel, edutech and deep tech. Next. See, very interesting data is that majority of startups are coming from non-metro areas. The startup coming from rural areas, semi-urban areas are more than the startup coming in the city centers. Next. More than half of startups reported early revenue traction. We have a wrong concept that startups take a lot of years to generate revenue, but they generate revenue at the early stage. Next. This I think Dr. Anand Prasad will claim more on this. I'll stop here and both of us will take questions after this. This startup policy is a very interesting law enacted by Government of India, wherein a student can pursue startups during the early stage, and student has two requirements: attendance compulsory, I think around 80%. If you start your own enterprise during course of study, attendance requirement is not there. You can get a 0% attendance also. And if in third year, if you get an idea and you start an enterprise, you can discontinue the studies and come back after 2-3 years and pursue the studies also. Another important feature of Startup India policy is every management has to devote, keep it as 2% of the revenue for funding startup in the campus. Most management are not doing it. There are a lot of students here, no? You must go and ask your principal that have we allocated 2% of the total revenue for generating startup in the campus. It is compulsory. If the college is not doing it, the license may be cancelled. You can inform your principal also. So this money is made use for seed funding to the startup in the campus. So more about this, my colleague Dr. Anand Prasad will explain it, because Jyoti Institute of Technology is also like us, funded by Government of India, and there are multiple sources for funding today. There's a very long time there is a myth that if you don't have the money you can't be an entrepreneur, but today it is not true. If you don't have the money, if you have a viable idea, if you have a desire to be an entrepreneur, you can become a very successful entrepreneur. You can start up your own enterprise. With this I conclude. We'll take more questions after Anand Prasad's presentation. I request Anand Prasad to continue, please. You can close this.
MG Anant Prasad, CEO, AIC Jyoti Institute of Technology Foundation, Bangalore, on the topic Startup Ecosystems in India.
Good afternoon. It is always a pleasure to interact with young minds and young entrepreneurs. And the pre-lunch and the post-lunch is always a difficult situation. I'll try my level best to give you an information. I'm not giving you any kind of talk here. I will not give you any kind of tips or something like that. I'll give you the facts and figures what incubation system in India is working. After that, it is your choice to take it forward. I'm Dr. Anand Prasad, CEO of Atal Incubation Center, Jyoti Institute of Technology Foundation. Jyoti Institute is located in Bangalore, Kanakpura Road. We are the first academic institution in Karnataka to get Atal Incubation Center supported by the ICAI. We have about 78 plus startups physically incubated at our campus. All are physical incubation. We don't have a concept called virtual incubation. And the valuation of the company has crossed more than about 250 crores plus in AIC. And we have developed more than about 125 plus product development, and 80% of the products are already in the market today. Some of them are also doing an export to many of the countries as well at AIC. And almost all the companies are IP owned, and job creation is about more than 500 plus because of the AIC Jyoti startups. So this is the background of AIC Jyoti. With this, I will give you the facts and figures, what is going on in the startup ecosystem in India. Next slide, please. So this is already covered by my friend Dr. Achar. So when we talk about what is startup, it starts from the private limited, partnership, LLP and so on. So it may be a one-person company as well, OPC as well. So the next slide. And very importantly, I know there are few bankers are here. So as said by Dr. Achar, bank is the last option to get the loan for an entrepreneur. So always the first choice is the grant from the incubation centers like us. The reason is bank authorities, they don't understand the innovation and the product development. That is where the problem starts. So because they have a certain guidelines, they have to follow on that. So that is the one problem. So banks do not understand the innovation process. Importantly, banks stress a lot about collaterals and important security things. Banks do not have any provisions to develop intellectual assets. So there are so many reasons. So next slide, please. And startups need careful nurturing. So it requires a lot of nurturing. It starts from the business development, investment, on the budgetary part, technology support, technology transfer, etc., etc. For all these things, one-stop solution is the incubation centers. So when you take an incubation center across India, there are about 416 incubators in the country right now, and supported by the Atal Innovation Mission. Some of them are supported by the Department of Biotechnology as a Bionis Center. There are many incubators under the MIT, so and so on. So yeah, Atal Innovation Mission, under the Atal Innovation Mission, we are an AICs, Atal Incubation Center. So the next slide, please. So very important thing, what Startup India started, we are all aware of it, in 2016. So the Startup India is giving the complete 360-degree support. It starts from the registration of the company to get the seed funding support and to nurture them, mentor them. So many options are available, including closing of the startup also they are helping us. So the complete 360-degree support they are providing under the Startup India seed funding. This is a fantastic facility created by the government of India. It is a vision of Sri Narendra Modi ji. So the next slide, please. I'll give you one small story of our AIC Jyoti under the Startup India seed funding, what we have done. The photo which you are looking, the last guy, his name is Mr. Adappa. He is from Gulbarga. He is an 8th dropout guy working in a government. Basically, he is an innovator. 8th dropout guy working in a government, he is an innovator. He came with an idea of splitting the water into hydrogen and oxygen. You know the importance of hydrogen and as well as on the oxygen. So he came with an idea. He has done a small proof of concept. We have helped them to create into a minimum viable product. Minimum viable product with the support of AIC Jyoti technical mentors. We have converted his idea into a reality. And he has applied for the patent. He got the patent in just one and a half year, and he has applied for a lot of funding. One such funding he got it through MSME Business Incubator, about 33 lakhs, and the next funding he got it through Startup India seed funding, which is 50 lakhs, and he got the, he has done a technology transfer with the support of AIC Jyoti, which is nearly about 8 crores. And now he is doing the retirement life. Can you imagine 8th dropout guy can become a crorepati? So this has made possible, Startup India made it possible, and now he is basically a full-time startup director. He started his own company. In fact, good that is, during the COVID time, in the second wave, his technology is used by many people, including the government of Karnataka, to create an oxygen. So that's the important thing what he has done. So probably as a graduate, either maybe a BCom, MCom, BE, whatever it is, probably you can do a lot more than what he has done. The only thing is you need a zeal to take it forward. So next slide, please. And now everybody is talking about India is one of the largest startup ecosystem in the globe. So the actual facts, 69,000 plus startups are recognized under the DPIIT, and 47%, at least one women director. That's a good thing actually. Maybe in due course of time, so of course women will cross more than 50%. They are the major stakeholders. and very importantly 630 plus district with at least one recognized startups in the country right now. 7.5 lakhs jobs created by 69,000. So that's a huge employment generation happened because of the startup ecosystem. And when you take the top 3 states, of course, after the Maharashtra, Karnataka, Delhi is there. So we are also there on that. And the top 3 sectors as mentioned by Dr. Achar again. So IT services, healthcare, life sciences, education, etc., etc. So the next slide, please. And so world's 3rd largest startup ecosystem with about more than 60,000 startup recognized, 60 certified, whatever I mentioned in the previous, the same thing is under the umbrella of this. The next slide. When it comes to the Karnataka business incubation startup and ecosystem, Karnataka stands the number 2 position after Maharashtra, and Karnataka government is having a wonderful startup facility. Under the government of Karnataka, now the call is open for the Karnataka Kalyana thing that is under the K Elevate, Karnataka Elevate scheme, which is about 50 lakhs of grant. Even there is also another grant. Now the call is open for an entrepreneur. Anybody can apply, even an individual innovator can also apply. So the last date is this month end, and that's about 30 lakhs of grant. Again, I'm talking, it's a grant, it's not a seed funding, it's not a loan. It's a grant under the government of Karnataka. Next slide, please. So key pillars of the startup ecosystem as per the Startup India, one is simplification and handholding. The important thing, the funding and incentives to be provided, incubation and industry, academia partnership, this is under the Startup India. Next slide, please. So under the DPIIT, recognized startups are eligible for all these benefits. Under the Startup India, you will also get IPR support under the Startup India. As I mentioned earlier, under the Startup India seed funding, you will get the complete 360-degree support, starting from the registration of the startup, to the funding, to the mentoring, sophisticated instrument facility, manufacturing, etc., etc. So all these are mentioned here. I am not going in depth of all these things. The next slide, please. Next slide, please. So these are all the fast track options available under the Startup India seed funding. Next slide, please. Relaxation, self-clarification under labor. You need not go to anywhere to justify your startup ecosystem. So directly you can enter into the Startup India portal. You can give a self-certification. That's sufficient. You need not go to any of the agencies. You have to go to DIC, MSME. So those things are not required. It is all online. Under the Startup India portal itself, you can do everything. So they made it a very simplified stages. So next, the faster exit for startups. Closing also it is very easy now. Next slide. Extension for 3 years, tax exemption. Of course, the chartered accountants probably they are well versed with these things. So this is another important option. Tax exemption, you will get it under the startups. Next slide, please. And exemption for the purpose of class. Of course, probably in the afternoon they are going to cover under all these things. Next. This is where I wanted to focus more on, because when we talk about business or an entrepreneurship, important thing starts from the vitamin M, which is money. So this is where the Startup India is having a fund of fund, which is something created by the venture capitalists across the globe. It is already available with the Startup India. If you are already in the market, if you are already crossed some kind of a revenue, directly you can approach to online portal and you can apply for fund of fund, which is very important. And wherever you have a doubt, incubators like us, government supported incubators like us will help you in filling the application form. And filling the application form is very, very simple. See, when you take a loan application of some XYZ bank, it may be about 30, 40, 50 pages. Whereas here, it is only one page. It is only one page with your pitch deck. It is so simplified. So the next slide, please. This is one of the important aspects. So we are the IIC Jyoti, we are the first one under the Atal Innovation Mission group. We got the Startup India seed funding scheme, full 5 crores. So based on our strength, the Startup India recognized and we got the complete 5-star, and we are on the top 3rd incubator even on the Startup India across the nation. Under the Startup India seed funding, there are about 416 incubators. We are consistently top 3rd, even in the Startup India as well as in the Atal Innovation Mission. So we have completed the 5 crores. Whoever is having an idea, So this funding will be given at the idea stage. Whoever is having an idea, any individual innovator can approach to incubators like us, either to AAC Jyoti or to AAC NITI, wherever you want. So you can apply. We will guide you how to fill the form, and you have to select AAC Jyoti is one of your preference incubator, and the application will come to AAC Jyoti. We will inspect. We will call you for the presentation. Based on the presentation, we will give you the seed funding, which varies from 10 lakhs to 70 lakhs. It is for idea stage only. We are not talking about the prototype. We need to bring your prototype. You have to showcase nothing. It is at the idea stage. We are supporting to an individual innovator. So this is one of the important scheme. Probably today itself you can log into this. You will get all the information. If you have any doubts, always you can come back to us. Next slide, please. This is a very unique thing under the umbrella of Atal Innovation Mission NITI Aayog. In the AAC Jyoti, we have more than about 7 Atal New India Challenge winners. This is one of the important scheme. Whatever I am talking, it is all grant. I am not talking about the loan or not talking about the seed funding. I will come back to these things at the later part. These are all the grant. This grant is up to 1 crore. We have about more than 78 startups under the AAC Jyoti. More than 7 startups have got the funding of 1 crore each. Even today morning also we got sanction order from the Atal Innovation Mission for one of our startup by name 5W Ventures, which is very few. So that's the kind of mentoring support which we are providing. So this is at the level of TR level 3 or a TR level 4. TR level 3 in the sense, in the common word, probably we can say if your working prototype is ready, so they will give you up to 1 crore of funding, which is a grant. Next slide please. And very importantly, there is one scheme called Big Biotechnology Ignition Grant, which is under the Department of Biotechnology. We have 78 plus startups. 80% of the startups, they have this 50 lakhs grant. 80% of the startup, they have a 50 lakhs of grant already. So this is again a grant. Those who are working in the area of healthcare, food technology, devices and sensors, IoT connected to healthcare, IoT connected to food, everything, most of the things are covered, even Ayurveda, homeopathy, devices, everything are covered under the Big Biotechnology Ignition Grant. Now the call is open. In case if you need, you can just Google DBT, Department of Biotechnology Big Grant, or you can also contact us. So probably we can guide you. The application format is very, very simple. The call is open till February 15th. Next slide, please. And of course, this is already covered by all our things. So next slide, please. Mudra loan, of course, covered by our previous speaker. Next. So SIDBI, again, this is also covered. Next. PMEGP program, it is known to you. These are all the important things by under the Government of India. Next slide, please. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampad Yojana. This is the very well connected towards the agricultural sector. Next slide, please. Atal Tinkering Labs. So when you take about the Atal Innovation Mission, after Shri Narendra Modi ji started the Atal Innovation Mission, the first step is taken at the Atal Tinkering Labs. So there are more than now about 20,000 plus Atal Tinkering Labs across the country in the schools, located in the schools. They have given a grants to the schools to procure a sophisticated instruments like 3D printer, additive manufacturing, softwares, everything, where students are working on the 3D printing technologies, additive manufacturing technology. They are talking about entrepreneurship. See, at this age, maybe in this group, the age average may be about 30, but whereas in the students of 7th, 8th, 9th standard students are talking about entrepreneurship because of this Atal Tinkering Lab. So we are mentoring lot of Atal Tinkering Lab across the country. AAC Jyoti, we are doing it, and they have showcased their product to the Honorable Prime Minister also in some of the occasions. So Atal Tinkering Lab is one important area. Probably you can also approach to them. You can use their technology, sophisticated instrument facility to convert your idea into a reality. The next one, please. And Idea Bank startups ideas where we will get all the fundings. This is the one important website. You will get all the data. Next slide, please. Next. I'll just give you an idea, some problems, what we have problems today. In fact, always I tell them, a simple thing, we have billions of people with billions of challenges. as an India, we have a millions of challenges. We should use it as an opportunity and solve them to become an entrepreneur. So there are many such problems. There are about 8,000 farmers leaving the villages and coming to the urban cities. So you can solve their problems. And similarly, there are millions of waivers active in India, so you can use them. Migration is a big problem. Less than 50% engineering graduates are unemployable. This is the data available. And quality of school education in India is it is below the average. Probably as an entrepreneur, this is an opportunity how you can improve the education system in India, and you can use various edutech things, and you can use. And of course, supply chain. Next slide, please. How much time, sir? Because it is already 1:40. 30 minutes. Okay. So maybe you can also work on the fresh foods, vegetables, keeping the fresh foods for a long time. Simple technology you can use. Then weak internet penetration. This is another problem in India. Maybe you can strengthen the internet facility with your own technology. These things you can. Rising demand of herbal products. Now herbal product, everybody is talking about organic, herbal, everything. Maybe you can think of such ideas and you can come back to us for funding. We will help you with the funding always. Next slide, please. There are many other problem statement. Because of the time constraint, I am not going in all depth. Probably you can look at the problem always individually. You can come back to us. We will guide you about all this. Next, there are many other problems. So digital marketing, fintech. These are all the areas probably which you can concentrate. Next slide, please. Next. Okay, just give you the background what AIC Jyoti is doing. So we are located in the Jyoti Institute of Technology, which is a small engineering college with about 6 branches of engineering, 3 MTech programs and 18 PhD programs in science and engineering. Next slide, please. So AIC Jyoti is consistently the top 5 incubators across the Atal Innovation Mission consistently from 2019 to till date. We have 78 plus startups right now. We work in the areas of food technology, devices and sensors, and even on the material as well. And we have a very sophisticated instrument facility. You name the instrument, we have almost all the instrument. It is on par with any of the CSR labs as well. And we have about 250 crores of valuation of all these startups, and direct employment generation is about 200 plus. And so next slide, please. Of course, so whoever is having an idea related to this aspect, as an incubator AIC Jyoti, we can incubate these companies, we can mentor them in these areas, and we can give the funding side. Whoever is working in the food technology, devices and sensors, including an IoT and material, is our thrust area. That is our specialization. That is the specialization of our incubator. So every incubator has its own specialization. You have to approach to them only. So in case if you have these ideas related to this, probably you can approach to AIC Jyoti. So next slide, please. And to give you the background, AIC Jyoti, we have spread across about 40,000 square feet. We give the physical space to the entrepreneur with a very subsidiary unit at subsidiary price even at Bangalore, which is about 10 rupees per square feet, which is very nominal. And we have a dedicated space, wet lab, granite top tables, tap water connections, because our thrust area is on the food, devices and materials. So that's where our specialization comes. And we got the sanction in April 2019, and we are 100% operational from October 2019, inaugurated March 2020, just one day before the lockdown. And we have 72 plus products, and as I mentioned earlier, we have developed more than about 125 plus products. And 80% of the products are already in the market today. It is not that it is created by startup and kept it in the shelf. No, we have taken only the grant, we have produced the product and kept it somewhere. No, it is not mandatory at AIC Jyoti. It is mandatory. They should take the grant. Once the grant is done, they have to convert it into a proper product, and it should reach to the market at the earliest. So that is the condition, and that is the kind of support we are giving at an incubators like us. And we have 42 external mentors. We are also doing an important thing. We have more than about 68 academic partners in 8 states in India, where we are hand-holding these institutions to create a startup ecosystem at their campus. Probably we can also help you if there are few MBA colleges, engineering colleges here. Probably you can approach to AAC Jyoti. We will help you to create startup ecosystem at your campus, and probably we will also extend our seed funding support to these colleges as well. So where you can convert your student into an entrepreneur. So where we are doing a lot of academic partners, we have 41 corporate partners. We have conducted more than 150 plus training programs and events across India. So with the support of AAC Jyoti, now it has crossed more than about 20.81 crores funding support created by the startup AAC Jyoti to our startups. And most of the fundings are Department of Science and Technology, BIRAC grant, Infosys Foundation also invested on AAC Jyoti startup, Elevate, Karnataka Elevate, Will Grow, Atal New India Challenge, Indo-Australia, Indo-Netherlands, Indo-Switzerland, Indo-US. There are many foreign funds also we got it under the thing. So next slide please. And we have a very sophisticated instrument facility. It is definitely on par with the top CSR labs. We have a starting from SM, XRD, HPLC, 3D printer, reverse engineering software, 3D metal printer. So many more equipment facilities are available under the umbrella of AAC Jyoti. Next slide please. Of course, we have a wet lab facility. This is what I am mentioning for food technology and devices sensor. This is the kind of facility is required for an entrepreneur. We have created such ecosystem at AAC Jyoti. So, maybe after your graduation or during the graduation, you can also come and visit and you can use the facility at AAC Jyoti. Next slide, please. This is the prototyping facility at AAC Jyoti. This is the wonderful facility what we have created at the institution. So next slide please. So I'm talking about the product development. So I'm not just talking in here, we have created 125 plus product and 80% of the products are already in the market. And I'm showing you the actual the product which is developed at AAC Jyoti. So we have a 3D bioprinting manufacturing company. We have India's first 3D bioprinting manufacturing company. So they have supplied to Merck Germany, not in India. Forget about India. They are supplying to Germany. Merck Germany, they are supplying ICMR Delhi, ICMR Jaipur, then Central Leather Research Institute, and many hospitals, King George Medical Hospital, many hospitals, they have supplied to thing. And now we have given additional space to this particular company, about 1,000 square feet. They are supplying to a lot of IITs and IIScs right now. AAC Jyoti is a private engineering college. Their product is reaching to the IIT. That is the difference we made in the incubation center. And of course, low cost ventilators. You know the importance when during the COVID-19 second wave. So we have developed a low cost ventilators at a cost of 25,000 rupees. So we have supplied to lot of government of Kerala, then also to the Karnataka government. So during the COVID time. We are also working on the adulteration kit, autonomous mobile robots for industrial application. This we have donated to 3 of the hospitals in Bangalore to supply the medicines and food to the COVID patients. Basically, this is for industrial application, but this also used during the COVID time. So these are all the actual product what you are seeing. Very interestingly, we are also developing a skin, which is an artificial skin. Which is a breathable skin actually. Which is a breathable skin we are developing at AAC Jyoti for cosmetic application. This is heavily funded by the Merck Germany, and we are in the last stage of the research work. And during the COVID-19 one, we have developed a negative ion generator, which deactivates the COVID-19 virus in 3 feet radius. So this is already available in the Amazon. Only thing is ICMR approval is not there. But we have an approval from the Singapore Virology Lab, which is a very sophisticated virology lab across the globe. They have given an approval. We are also working on the 4 PM bar, which is an energy bar. We are also working on the CT scan to 3D printing. So we have a technology. So the CT scan will take the picture and we will convert into a prototype. So that option is also available with us. So next slide, please. And many other things, blood-free glucometer. So thanks to Dr. Achar from the AAC NITE, they have funded to one of our startup. So blood-free glucometer, as the name indicates, they don't take blood, they take only saliva and test it. The results are on par with the same blood. They got an ICMR approval, and we have given additional space for the fabrication, for the manufacturing. Similarly, wine making kit. We are also working on the EV vehicles. EV vehicle, it's a complete design I'm talking. Not the parts. The EV complete parts we are developing at ASC Jyoti and many other products. So there are many other products. Shortage of the time, I am not explaining. In case if you are interested to know, always you are welcome to ASC Jyoti. And as I mentioned, we are helping 68 academic partners in 8 states. So we have partners in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, then also in Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, and also many in Karnataka as well. So these are all our partner institute where we are helping them with the creating a startup ecosystem. So just to give you highlights, we incubate company who is working on the product development and technology based, not on the service. It should be a product or technology based startup. And our average startup age is at ASC Jyoti is 2.5 years only. 2.5 years only. It is not crossed 5 years, 10 years down the line. No, it is all young startups 2.5 years, and our TR level is 3 to 6. And 250 plus crores of valuation of our ASC Jyoti startups. Employment generation, because of these startups, it is 200 plus. We are scaling up in next year, 2023. In this year, it should be employment generation should be a 500 plus. And all these companies at ASC Jyoti, it is mandatory, it should be IP owned. And if possible, they have to export their product to the outside countries. So this is the highlights. So thank you very much for all this. And thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Any questions from the audience?
Why startups are getting
API, you can also be in the stage. Question.
Nowadays, startups are recognized by the DPII. Actually, around as per your slide, around 69,000 startups are recognized by the government as a startup. But hardly 448 startups got 80 IAC. That is one of the very important benefit of 3 years tax exemption. Why not even 1% of the startups are not getting that 80 IAC benefit? What is the reason, sir? Why people are failing there, and how we can overcome that challenge?
Sir, for everything, according to me, it's my personal view I am talking. For everything, whatever you do under the startup, you need a right mentor. Without the right mentor, nothing will happen. So guidance is required. Say for example, if you take the village near Hosapete, so they have started, say for example, they have started some startup. They are completely unaware of what is available and how to take the benefit. And so people are at Bangalore, they have a lot of exposures because of the incubators like us, or maybe because of the advancement of the technology. So that is the one main reason according to me, sir.
But not even 1%, sir.
Yeah,
So
that's correct. That's
69,000, only 448.
Sir, that is the only reason. Now we are penetrating.
Because from last 2016 onwards, I have incorporated more than 60 companies with the aim to get that tax benefit. Out of that, only one client got that benefit, ATAC. That is also with a lot of political influence and so many other things.
We'll take it up in the Startup India. Sure, we'll take it up in the Startup India. Right now, we don't have an answer to this. We'll definitely discuss with the Startup India.
Because that is one of the very important things. Because
We are
3 years tax exemption is not a small
Correct,
benefit.
correct.
It's a
And
very
we'll write to them. We'll write to them.
And another thing is, sir, right application format is very important. So when you are applying for the grant or for kind of a tax exemption, so whatever you are writing in the application form and what is required for the expert member, that's very important. So we do such mentoring support at our incubators. So how to say, for example, as I mentioned earlier, so if you want to apply for Startup India seed funding grant, I am talking, it is only simple one page, but what is required in the page should be, they don't need any kind of history or nothing. It's a simple application form, to the point you have to answer, that's all. So that is very, very important. That is where the incubator
I think it's a very
and mentor plays a major role.
So we need your assistance on this, sir.
Yeah. We'll take it up in the Startup India.
Hello. It's a wonderful thing what AIC is doing. I actually didn't know so much about incubating the startups. So it's all about what they are getting, but what they have to pay in exchange. Is it in equity? Is it a fixed fee, or how is it?
Sir, in case if you take a bigger space, it varies from 400 square feet to 800 square feet with the wet lab facility, granite top table, tap water connection, internet facility, everything. So then we will charge 10 rupees per square feet. Whereas in Bangalore, the price. it cost about 200 rupees per square feet to 20,000 rupees square feet. Am I correct, sir? So that is the thing. But we charge about 10 rupees per square feet. So that is the only charge which we are giving. Other than that,
for peanuts.
Yes. In the AAC NITTE, we don't charge, but we give you 10 lakh if you have a good idea.
complete 360 degrees support which we are giving.
Hosapete, anybody come for incubation, will give accommodation also. We give you seed money to start an enterprise. No charge at all.
So my question
But we are all charged now.
Yes,
So there is no charge.
I feel a lot of startups are there because of the mentors.
Yes.
So are you charging for mentorship?
No, it is absolutely zero price. We don't charge anything and we don't take equity in case if we invest, even the AC NITTE also, if we invest, then we will take an equity or it may be on the debt mode. Or sometimes if you are working towards the societal needs, maybe something on the healthcare.
It is about the private incubators. They charge very heavily, but if you go to the government incubators like us, it is free completely and we get a lot of support, funding, mentoring, everything is free.
Seed funding, if you take a seed funding, then equity model will come into the picture. Otherwise, it will not come into the picture. Thank you.
Any question?
Any question, please?
So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, both the achars. They are achars. I request Srikant Manjpur, Vice Chairman of Kalburgi branch, and B.K. Anil, Part Chairman of Ballari branch, to honor both the sir. So he as speaker. So give them a big hand.
How was the session?
How was the session? Good? Perhaps in the city. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ದಿನ 3 ಗಂಟೆ 2 ಗಂಟೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
10 ಲಕ್ಷ ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂತ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಸಿಂಗ್.
10 ಲಕ್ಷ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ನೀವು ಚೀಟಿ ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ರಿ. Thank you. Photo check. So it is price photo for the branch. Photo take it. A small announcement before lunch. Thank you. Madhyana, one session will be there. That will be on how MSMEs are funded, number one. Number two, what are the opportunities for backbone of this conclave? And number one. Number two, along with his son for the first time, it's Sanket, he will be speaking on opportunities for professionals. They will be doing joint session. So first time, father and son are doing a joint session to see that you don't sleep over. Okay, so you will not be. It will be. You will not be getting bored. So now you will have a very what's called loud and sound session in the second half. Please join back for lunch. Students, because of the rush in the morning, students it is arranged in the same hall below this hall, the ground floor. For others, the same breakfast hall. So please have lunch and also please come back in 30 minutes. 30 minutes please to see that 2:25 will start the session. Thank you.